Hey everyone, Black Soul Reaper here, and the new Boruto manga chapter released today, so I just wanted to give my analysis on it. And so this chapter leaves off where the last one ended, and so we see Koji and Isshiki doing combat, and so Koji blasts a fireball at Isshiki, and it looks like he just absorbs it like it's nothing, like walks right past it, and Koji begins to release even more flames, and it's stated by Koji that he's shrinking my jutsu instantly. This is a whole different level of power than when he was jigging, in which case Koji starts to activate Art of the Raging Lion name, which essentially turns his hair into a weapon, and he wraps it around Isshiki and slams him into the ground, or appeared to throw him into the ground, because in the next shot we see Isshiki the size of a tiny action figure on Koji's shoulder, and he says, "It doesn't matter what you try, you cannot defeat me ever." And so Koji at that point activates Nido Jizo, and at that point he realizes there was no resistance, and so he assumes that Isshiki was able to escape, and he doesn't know where Isshiki is. Next we see Isshiki right in the air above him, and he states, "My body is brimming with incredible power. However, precisely because of that, it's only a matter of time before the power destroys this body. I probably only have another 2 to 3 days of life left. And I've lost Kawaki's karma to boot. That sly fox Amato has planned well. You can no longer resurrect." And then Koji states, "You can no longer resurrect. If you die, that's it for you. So I'm selling things here and now." And Isshiki says, "You poor fool. You don't understand at all, do you?" And at this point we learn that basically Amato used Koji to force Isshiki out of Jigen's body, and that Amato knew that Koji would not have the strength to take down Isshiki, and that Isshiki states that it's highly likely that he intends to have the Hokage and Uchiha dispose of me. And Koji's, he obviously he wasn't in the loop, so he's surprised, and he says, "What?" And he says, "That's absurd. If you're trying to distract me in order to escape, it won't work." And Isshiki says, "It's the truth. I'll make you understand, if I must, that you are not capable of being a heroic shinobi tool. You're nothing more than a pitiful sacrificial pawn." And Koji, obviously angered, says, "Enough chit chat, here I come." And we're bring to the next scene where we see Amato basically giving all of his civilian rights that he had requested since he entered the village, and we learn that he's also given permission to join the research facility team, but only under the direct supervision, and over the condition that he hands over his technology without exception, and Amato agrees to that. And Shikamaru states, "If you're satisfied, hurry up and disarm the bomb around Shikadai's neck." And Amato states that he should just relax, it's only a decoration. So everyone's shocked, obviously, and that Boruto states, "You mean that was all a bluff?" And Amato says, "Though the one that blew up the branch was real." And they state, "What were you going to do if we had realized that?" And Amato basically says it was too risky the situation was too risky to assume that with absolute certainty, and that basically Shikamaru wasn't going to risk his son's life on just the fact that they thought it may be fake. You have to assume that it is real because it's your son and you don't want to risk his life. So obviously parental love will overcome logic any day. Amato then states, in any case, Lord Hokage, I'm sure you know this, but the hard part is yet to begin. Kashin Koji lacks the power to take down Isshiki. You two are the only ones who might have a chance. And Naruto states, aren't they still fighting? If we head down there now, we'll gain the upper hand. And Amato says, no, I can't recommend that. And Naruto says, why not? And Amato states, Isshiki has only one target right now, Kawaki. As I explained earlier, Isshiki only has a few days of remaining life. There's no way he'll sit still and do nothing. He has to be intending to implant Kawaki with another karma before his life runs out, in order to make it possible again for him to use Kawaki as his vessel to resurrect. He'll likely prioritize that above all else. So even if you do rush over there, he really has no reason to stay and engage you. He might just ignore you and teleport here to Konoha village where Kawaki is. And someone like Isshiki heading to the village will obviously destroy the Hidden Leaf village. We saw what Pain did, and he wasn't even Otsutsuki. He just had a lot of chakra in the Rinnegan. Ishiki's on a whole nother level. So at this point, Amato states that they need to focus on evacuating the civilians, and Shikamaru tells Sai to get on it. And Amato states that they need to hide Kawaki somewhere, and he states that only Naruto and Sasuke have the greatest fighting power needed to protect him. In short, the two of you cannot go running off somewhere too far from Kawaki. We'd be spared if Ishiki's life runs out quickly, but, well, at any rate, all is lost if Kawaki is implanted with another karma, so you must defeat Isshiki before that happens. So this is actually bad news, because if Naruto and Sasuke are supposed to guard Kawaki and Kawaki is supposed to be hidden from Isshiki, then that basically stops him from engaging Isshiki, because they'll be forced to protect Kawaki. Now, obviously Naruto can make 1,000,000 shadow clones, and each of his clones are Hokage level, so that might be one way. And I guess make enough shadow clones to drag the battle out long enough until Isshiki life runs out. That would probably be my plan if I was in Naruto's situation, because, you know, with as much chakra as he has, he can create, 1,000,000 clones. And when you amp that with his Sage mode on top of that, then, he's drawing in even more chakra. So he could probably create an infinite amount of clones if he wanted to at least drag out the last couple days, or to at least fend off Isshiki before he's able to implant karma. I'm hoping they go that route. It makes sense. I don't know why they wouldn't do that, but we'll see where the writing takes us. And then we're skipped back to Koji versus Isshiki, and at this point, Koji's gone full-blown Sage mode. So at this point, Koji's actually more powerful than any ninja in the Hidden Leaf besides Naruto and Sasuke, in my opinion. He's most likely more powerful than Kakashi. You could argue Rock Lee. He probably is on the similar level to Rock Lee, but in any case, he's a lot more powerful than Kakashi. And so he lets off a fire-style giant flame bomb, and Isshiki just runs right through it like it's nothing. And Isshiki is then able to land a blow, and Koji states that Sukuna Hikona is an ocular jutsu, so it only activates upon seeing its target. And so he thinks if he activates a jutsu that hides him, he'll be hidden from his ocular jutsu. And Isshiki states, more flames, truly unimaginative, Kashin Koji. And then we see that he actually is able to get behind Isshiki Otsutsuki, and he's prepared a massive Rasengan. And he tells Isshiki, now choose which you prefer, getting ripped apart or burning. And Isshiki at this point activates his I want to say it's a Sharingan, or Mangekyo Sharingan. It's definitely not the Rinnegan, and it's definitely not on the Byakugan. So I'm assuming it's just a Sharingan, which is interesting because he's actually the first Otsutsuki we've seen with a Sharingan. I know in the anime we did see Isshiki use his Rinnegan with the Sharingan markings, but obviously that's not canon. That's not from the manga. So that was just the studio actually had made that. So this is the first Otsutsuki we're seeing with the Sharingan. Now I know that Madara and Kaguya did have a Rinnegan on their forehead, but it was nothing compared to Isshiki's ocular jutsu. It seems unique only to him, and so his jutsu actually is able to looks like it lands some pillars on Koji's arms and on his legs. And Isshiki states the secret jutsu, Daikokuten. These are just the ordinary stone columns that line this space. And this is where we receive the revelation that Ishiki's jutsu allows him to store whatever he shrunk in a dimension where time doesn't flow, and retrieve them whenever he wants. So if you guys can get that, basically anything he shrinks, he can store it in another dimension, and whenever he wants to use what he shrunk, he can just reappear it. Basically, whatever use he needs in battle. Obviously, this goes without saying, it's hugely overpowered. The fact that you can be attacked with things you can't even anticipate makes it almost impossible to dodge, and even more impossible to predict, because he could have shrunken anything. So I know it's gonna be probably difficult for Naruto and Sasuke to fight him, not knowing that ability, which will probably give Isshiki the upper hand. And we learned afterwards that Koji's legs and left arm have been crushed, so he's basically immobile at this point. He can't do anything. He's defenseless, and he basically asked him, do you have any last words before I kill you? And at that point, Kashin Koji uses a summoning jutsu to basically have a toad swallow him whole and teleport back to the toad dimension so he can escape. And I thought this was dumb, because I remember when Jiraiya was going against Pain, he wasn't able to escape, and Pain was a lot weaker. So it begs the question, how was Koji able to escape when Jiraiya wasn't able to? But that's just my thought. Obviously, they're going to use him later on in the series, and Jiraiya was meant to die at that part, but that's just what I think about it. And so at this point, Isshiki decides it's time to go and to claim Kawaki. So he goes into his dimensional portal, and we're shown on the next slide. We're back in the village, and Boruto is asking if he can join Naruto and Sasuke. And Naruto says, "Weren't you listening? The enemy's a complete monster. Only Sasuke and I will take him on. You'd actually be in the way if you were there." And Boruto's worried because Naruto and Sasuke lost against Jigen last time. And Boruto states, "How do you plan to win against an even stronger guy?" So I think it's kind of weird that Boruto thinks he can help in any way. He's not even a Jonin. But he did help them fight and defeat the last Otsutsuki. But to be honest, that Otsutsuki wasn't that powerful. Naruto and Sasuke basically go toe to toe with that guy. Ishiki's on a different level because he beat Naruto and Sasuke without even trying. And Naruto and Sasuke went full out. At least with the other Otsutsuki, Naruto and Sasuke were able to defeat him. And, they didn't really have that much difficulty by him, I want to say. It was more of like when they fought Kaguya or when they fought Madara. But this guy makes Naruto and Sasuke look like they're nothing, basically. So we'll see how this goes. I don't expect Naruto and Sasuke to win. But that's when we learn that Sasuke and Naruto both told Boruto that they're willing to die for Konoha, and that is Boruto willing to die for the village? And Boruto doesn't have an answer. Probably never thought about dying for the village, so he's hesitant to make that answer. And this is when we see Naruto receive a call, basically letting him know that there's an enemy above the village and that it's one foe in the sky above. Chakra data not available. And Naruto's nervous because he's already here, and he's sweating, and I think they're both realizing that they probably won't be able to defeat him. I don't know why they would think they even could defeat him. But if they're supposed to hide Kawaki, then they'll probably leave the village defenseless. So I see at this point probably Rock Lee, Kakashi get involved. We'll probably see Rock Lee go 8 gates. That's my prediction. We'll see Rock Lee go 8 gates. And, he won't win. He might be able to weaken him enough where Naruto and Sasuke may be able to finish him off. But if Rock Lee is in the village, I see him going 8 gates. We'll probably see some major deaths, obviously, besides Naruto and Sasuke. Kakashi could easily die. I'm trying to think of someone else. Maybe Shino. I don't know. Someone. I see a major death coming besides Naruto and Sasuke, but that's where the chapter ends. So let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below. Do you think Naruto and Sasuke will win? Do you think it'll be a draw? Do you think Rock Lee will go 8 gates? Do you see Kakashi or any other major sensei dying? Let me know in the comment sections below. If you like anything I have to say, please drop a like, and please subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel. Subscriptions are painless, so if you just watch the video and you watch to the end, just drop that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Till the next video.